And I'm talking about he wanted us there every day. And I'm in college. I'm in grad school at this time. And so I was just like, this is ridiculous. And I mean, just so many things, calling, witches I was a prophet until I started to call some things out. You know what I'm saying? And all of that stuff. It was crazy. And so and so I felt in my heart that he had been sleeping with this woman. And, I just said, I just said, like, yo, you sleeping with this woman. It's like, how are you going to, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You're just kind of, I just feel. And so I called him out and he really got mad. I mean, he looked at me like, because the thing is, one thing when you think somebody is who you said they are, right? But when I say when you really are, when you really do carry that, and remember in Jeremiah 1, he carried the ability to set some things in order. Jeremiah was chin checking people, right? So period, point blank, that was his mantle. And so when I got called into that, I didn't understand exactly who I was, and I was so naive that I just was like, well, I felt like I heard Jehoiakim and the Lord said this, and I'm just like, I don't know. And so at that time, I learned a lot, but a girl named Julia, and her name is Julia Grimm and Julia Myers. And I'm adding names because I want you guys to know that this is a true story. All right. She came one day and we had a meeting at the church. Everyone had left at this point and I was the last standing. All right. And so we had a meeting and the pastor, wanted to tell me all this stuff about me. And she said, Alexis, it's time to go. Do you know what you're in? It's time to go. And even, I had got so gung-ho about Jesus. I mean, I was worshiping God. I was doing all that stuff, praying for hours. I'm fasting. I was doing all those things. And I thank God for teaching me through that season. But I could not see. I was blinded. The Bible talks about the blind leading the blind. I was blinded by the fact that the leader at the church had us underneath almost a spell. You foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Come on now. Who has bewitched you, right? And so I would talk in ways in which it was just, you could tell I was tripping, but I was young, okay? And so my friend girl got me out of there, and I remember thinking, because I was afraid to go to any other church and all this other stuff, and I remember thinking, God, thank you. I thought I would have to do, I thought it was going to be a life sentence that I was about to have to do, like 5 years at this church, because I had said it with my mouth. Like, I think I'm supposed to serve this leader. You know what I'm saying? And so my friend came and snatched me out. She's from she's from East St. Louis. She pulled me up out of there. And I never went back. But it taught me something. I found myself in that situation almost years later, but I was able to quickly discern what it was. Okay. And so I'm going to just give you guys some tips, and I want to help you guys just to understand, is your church a cult? Is it cultish? All right. Let's just say, is it cultish? And let's go with the definition of a cult. The definition of a cult is a system of religious worship or ritual, devoted attachment to, or extravagant admiration for a person or a principle, or both, okay? A person or a principle or both. And so sometimes you can find yourself where you're in a religious group, you're bound together by this, there's something that pulls you together, all right? And you really have this high ungodly admiration for a leader, all right? A person or a principle. Now, this is the definition. This is the definition that, was in Webster, all right? So I didn't make that definition up. This is what they say, all right?